Hello again. Hello and welcome. So some of you will have been with me about 20 minutes ago when I inadvertently turned the camera on as I was placing it in the holder. So you're welcome again if you care to have rejoined, and welcome afresh anyone joining for the first time. So welcoming you in, maybe who you are and where you're from. A few of you, I get to read these afterwards. Liz Harris from Scotland, John King, also Scotland, and Lynn, I guess, beautiful. And Melanie from California, who's made the time adjustment, I'm impressed. And Mark Taft from Leicester. Lovely, beautiful to have you joining. So, what times we're living in, goodness, what times indeed. So I'm seeing others coming through and welcoming you too, welcoming David Wetzelweiler, is it? And Kieran from up the road, Carol from over in the other valley, yeah, and others of you, beautiful. I've just disturbed all the rose petals. There we are. So I want to take a few minutes this evening to explore presence. So I want to kick off with a couple of quotes, then we'll have a song, and then we'll deepen into experientially presence. So this one from John O'Donoghue. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. No matter where you are in the world, be it down the road, in the next valley, or halfway around the world, you're present in this moment. How can that be? How can you be present from such a vast different distance? There is no difference, is there? We're all intimately connected. This one from David White, slightly different tack, but very appropriate for the time. Sometimes it takes darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness. Sometimes it takes darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness to learn that anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you. And this is the time to savour sweet confinement of our aloneness and learn that anything or anyone that does not bring us alive is too small for us. And these few words I wrote down, presence, to deepen into the experience of what is, to be true to the truth of the moment, to be true to the truth of the moment, however joyous, however unutterably uncomfortable that might be. So whatever it is, being true to it in the moment. Let's have a song to ground and welcome us, and it's the elements, grounding, welcoming, and how song for me brings me present. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, and the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, and the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, and the air. So we return to this time, to this place. We return to our true selves by coming into the core of our beings now. And we do this, and this is a simple but very effective way of becoming present. First of all, I sound the bell. I don't know about you, but I notice I become more present by becoming aware of the bell. So wherever we are, let's hold hands in this moment. Let's hold hands in what I've come to term this global grove of beings. This global grove. So we join hands and we just share 3 breaths together, simply becoming ever more aware of our presence with each other and with ourselves and with the world. So first, deep breath for the earth beneath us. Second, deep breath for the beautiful sky above. And the third breath for the waters that surround this land. And we'll share 3 Arwens also to become more present through song. Arwen. Ah is breath in the Old Welsh. Wen is blessed or holy. Holy breath. Deep breath and then 3 Arwens. Please join me. So just before we release hands, are you aware of feeling more present through that simple exercise? I feel it for myself, present to myself, present to you, present to the world. Okay, just squeezing hands and letting go and coming fully into this space here and welcoming you in this very strange and weird and unsettling at one level, but gifting at another level this time. So here we are, and presence comes up for me, or came up for me several days ago as a subject worthy of just exploring at this time, because it becomes ever more pertinent or ever more relevant, ever more in my consciousness in this time. So here we are. The presence is to do with being present to the moment, and in being present, we are present, a gift to others if we're present to them, and present to ourselves, present to myself. That's a gift too. Present in the present presence. This wonderful connection. I don't know if it works in other languages, but it's quite perfect in the English language. And the presence relies on letting go of anything from the past and not worrying about things for the future, being an elusive quality, isn't it? We all, I guess, know people who are particularly, they exude presence. Now sometimes that's an older person who's had a lot of life experience, and instead of becoming world wearied, like people can, they become world enlivened and simply being is enough. And in that being is presence. And there's a paradox in that. Also for me, great presence is to be experienced with a baby, especially a newborn baby. Very present, or is it that I'm particularly present to the baby? Either way, there's something about babies evokes presence. And again, it's lack of baggage, simplicity, lack of ego, yeah, that's in there too. Maybe a lack of anything extraneous or superficial enables a gateway to presence to become opened. I think it's really interesting for me. The word presence, I love playing with words, as many of you will know. Presence is pre-sense. Pre-sense is presence. And for me, I just wonder if presence isn't linked to, before one relays experience to any of the senses, feeling, touch, sight, before that, in presence, I am enabled to connect with the source. And so I wonder if pre-sense is something that is unencumbered with senses. And then as senses come in and add layers and add interpretations and add feelings. It's pre-sense presence. Interesting. Okay, we'll have another song. Let me see what I thought. Yeah. We are the dance of the moon and the sun. Oh, we are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope that's deep inside. I'd love you to join me singing this. We are the dance of the moon and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope that's deep inside. We are the light. We are the dance of the moon and the sun. We are the light that's in everyone. We are the turning of the tide. We are the hope that's deep inside. Turning of the tide. And certainly the tide feels like it's turning. And unsettling it can be. Did you notice at the start of the last verse of that I stumbled over the words? I just was aware as I did it why that was. My mind was drifted onto what I was going to do next. And by not being present, I stumbled and lost the plot, lost the focus. I just share that because it's interesting, isn't it? We all know that. Without presence, yeah, without presence, things fragment or fall away. But talking of falling away, here we are in this great time of falling away. So much is falling away. You could say it's a loss. No more flights, no more travel, except for walking. Maybe the odd essential car journey. No more busyness in business, busyness in busyness. No more running around visiting lots of folk. We're all confined to base, or pretty much. But isn't it interesting, in this time I experience, I don't think it's fanciful, I've thought about it and dwelt in this. I think presence becomes ever more potent, ever more tangible. Is it because things fall away and then I really value my next breath, which is a great gateway to presence. But I also value Yeah, I can't visit my grandchildren. Oh God, I'm going to cry in a minute. I can't visit my grandchildren. And yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad. And I value them more than ever. Isn't there something truly beautiful in this shedding, in this loss time? Just as the skies are clearing of all the chemtrails, of all the whatever they leave in the sky, and as the air clears of pollution, so there's almost a parallel cleansing, a falling into, I put it, so a falling into presence, yeah, an awakening into a more present, simplified being, more chance to be. So human beings is what we are, and we're reconnecting with that. So I want to sing you another song, or sing with you. Yeah, this one came up. Oh, musician of my soul, play your song with every breath. Oh, musician of my soul, play this song with every breath. Last time together. Oh, musician of my soul, play your song, play this song with every breath. Can you feel the presence of this moment? I want to just share something, a few shared nuggets of wisdom around presence. There are many to be had. This one from Rumi. Rumi says, look at my hand for a moment. Your hand opens and closes. Opens and closes. If it were always a fist or always open, you would be paralyzed. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding, the two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. The two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. And he's pointing to the presence in it, partly in balance, but in experiencing the fine detail of the movement, and the invitation for us all in this time of great change is to really become present to what is happening. Not on the news, although not to be completely unaware of that, but not so much in the news. What is happening in my body, in my world, what I see around me, what is happening in terms of my presence and relationship to this experience, this great gift of an experience which I've never known before. Eckhart Tolle, who else? The past perpetuates itself through lack of presence. The past perpetuates itself through lack of presence. So if we want more of the past, then let's not be present to what is happening in the moment. Thich Nhat Hanh, your true home is in the here and now. Your true home is in the here and now. How blessed am I, how blessed are we to share this here and now together around the globe. I mean, I find that magical and beautiful. Idries Shah. Have you noticed how many people who walk in the shade curse the sun? Have you noticed how many people who walk in the shade curse the sun? It's probably more evident than ever at the moment, but that's always true. One final thing, again Eckhart Tolle. There's only one perpetrator of evil on the planet: human unconsciousness. That realization is true forgiveness. That realization is true forgiveness. With forgiveness, your victim identity dissolves and your true power emerges. The power of presence. The power of presence is our true power. Instead of blaming darkness, you bring in the light. Instead of blaming darkness, you bring in the light. To be present in the present is a present. So I just want to, let's take ourselves into this global grove, the sacred grove. So I invite us to close our eyes and deepen our breath. The bell as an aid to deepening presence. The breath as an aid to deepening presence. The present of my presence to myself. A gift. And in this gifted moment, I invite us all, each of us, me included, to take ourselves into our mind's eye in a grove of trees. That's a vast circle of trees. Well, it doesn't need to be that vast. Intimate and yet expansive, spacious and yet close. And within this grove, each of us stand in circle. We're all together in this virtual circle, which is nonetheless fully present. So present to each other, deep breath. Present to the trees in the circle, deep breath. Present to the earth beneath our feet, deep breath. And I invite us to look towards the centre of the circle. And there are two tall trees, two magnificent trees, standing fairly close together, but not so close together that you couldn't stand between them. So close together that they're an arm's width apart. And there they are before you in the centre of the circle, and you make your way. I invite us each to make our way to the trees at the centre of the circle, and to stand between these trees and to put a hand on each tree. They're near enough to put a hand on each tree, to feel their presence. Trees are great harbingers, great models, great evocations of presence. Feel the presence of these trees as you stand with one on either side. The beauty of presence. Just stay with that for a few seconds. And just listen to these words, still with your eyes closed, with your hand on a tree each side of you. Tall trees grow higher, tall trees aspire. I feel them in my body as they take me to the source. Tall trees grow higher, tall trees aspire. I feel them in my body as they take me to the source. And then just let your hands drop to your sides. And be like a tree, standing between other trees. And again, here's another song as you stand there. You can join in if you want to, or you can just in silence enjoy being bathed with a tree song. Standing like a tree with my roots deep down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruit to this heart that is open. 'Cause I'm standing like a tree, standing like a tree, standing like a tree with my roots deep down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruit to this heart that is open. 'Cause I'm standing like a tree. Just giving thanks to the tree on either side, maybe reaching out and touching them in thanks, in gratitude. And making your way to the edge of the circle where you joined this grove. And you just turn in on the circle and you acknowledge the presence of all of your fellow travellers. We're all pilgrims in this moment and in this unfolding mystery of not knowing. We just give gratitude to each other. I give gratitude to all the trees in the Global Grove, to each of us in the Global Grove. I take a little bow in thanks and turn and leave the grove and return to this space in this moment, present to Sovereign Earth, number 36 on presence. And you're here, back. And I hope, as it has helped me to become more aware of what presence is and how to be just a little smidgen more present each time through awareness. Oh, did you know that I found this out, that research has shown that as people get older, it becomes easier for them to be mindful. I think some people might disagree with that. It becomes easier for them to become mindless. But in real terms, joking apart, there's something about being older. Maybe it's because things fall away like they do, and they are around us now. Older people can become more present, which might explain why some older people exude that potential. But isn't that interesting? And I just want to acknowledge, because I was Sally, who lives near here, when I did my broadcast, the premature broadcast, you could call it, some of you were here with me, and I started too early before I realised, I didn't realise the camera was on when I set it up. She's very involved with HS2, the project that's driving a huge rail link up through the country, and she just alerted me that tomorrow there's a whole lot of trees at Broadwells Woodland due to be felled, and I want to offer just some presence to acknowledging those trees and acknowledging all they've given in their lives, and I hope maybe I was going to say forlorn, but it's not a forlorn hope. It's a slight hope that things might change. They might not get felled tomorrow. But Sally, thank you for all you're doing, Sally Brooks. And then finally, I came across a quote from Jeff Buckley. Jeff Buckley is famous for singing Hallelujah, the beautiful version. What did he say? Oh yeah, he said, "There's no good singing. There is no good singing. There is only present and absent." And so, because there's no good singing, there's only present and absent, and you're all present, I'm going to invite us to sing together as we as we finish. Standing like a tree with my roots deep down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, come down the sun, come down the fruit to this heart that is open. 'Cause I'm standing like a tree, standing like a tree, standing like a tree with my roots deep down, joining my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, yeah, come down the sun, ooh, come down the fruit to this heart that is open. 'Cause I'm standing like a tree, standing like a tree, standing like a tree with my roots deep down, my branches wide and open. Come down the rain, whoa, come down the sun, oh yeah, come down the fruit to this heart that is open. 'Cause I'm standing like a tree. Whoa! So to all the trees who are the models and the inspiration, at least for me, of presence. And I bless your presence as I bless my own, and blessing the presence of my body in relationship to the earth, to the source. Okay. I'm going to blow out the candle. Blessings to the myriad people, the myriad beings who need it, all of us. And I say farewell for tonight. See you on Friday for singing. Sovereign Earth service Friday, Sovereign Earth next Tuesday. Bye. And I see lots of comments, lots of hearts and stuff. Thank you all. I'll read them all after I've had a drink of water.